Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. I'm Fallacara, your host, and my guests are coming to this show not to sell any product, but to tell us the story. I want to know who they are, where they're coming from, what kind of kids they were. At the end of the day, we're all unique snowflakes. So let's get them here and let's learn. Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. I'm Jean Fallacara, and today I have my guest, Kyle Bergquist, a life spanner. He's the co-founder of Reputable, but also an application that allows people to validate product supplements and sleep track, whatever. We're going to talk about that because Life Spanning, our company, made a partnership with their company. So we are working hands to hands in these development of bringing more solution to the public, helping everybody to live longer, fitter, and better. So let's talk about this with Kyle, which is my guest right now. Thank you. There we go. Hi, peeps. So today I have Kyle Bergquist, the co-founder of Reputable, and some very cool shits. You're going to see like it is life spanning 200%. Kai, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Tell us what you're doing.
Man, well, I know you and I've been talking for a while about this, and I know it's hopefully going to help you guys on what you're doing over at Life Spanning. But, you know, we're trying to create a platform that empowers citizen science, right? So we want a lot of people to be able to come in, connect their wearables, and see what's working in their life. But where this gets really neat is companies can do this as well. And companies can run mini trials on the platform and be able to see how their offerings are performing in the real world, right?
So you mean like instead of going through the process of scientific validation through publication and medical studies or stuff like that, they can come to the platform, ask for some testing?
Exactly. Yeah, we all know that can be very expensive and time consuming and a lot of hoops to jump through to do double-blinded placebo-controlled trials and get IRBs and those sort of things. What we're trying to do is help health and wellness products actually be able to stand behind their claims, to be able to validate boldly, we say, and really just kind of stand for something different, right? Like cleaning up the market in terms of learning about their product as well, right? Like I think that's a really important thing.
Reminds me of the certification process that we have. Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly why it was a perfect fit to partner with you guys on this.
That's very cool. How did you come up with that idea?
Oh man, we've been plugging at this for a long time. So my co-founder and I, Theban, we were coming up with an idea. Dr. Amy Killen as well.
She was on the podcast, one of my greatest friends as well.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She's been with us since the early days. And it was literally like, can we build a truth machine for health and wellness, right? And it started with, we wanted blockchain to be able to enable that. And that has been helpful. And it is a tool we're going to use in the future as well. But really, we've created an app called NO1 Plus that anyone can download now.
Can we see a screenshot or something?
Yeah, I can show you right now.
I'd like to see that.
So the first thing I'll show you is what the app looks like. Let me log out of that. Give it the new user feel here.
So different app than what we can find on the market for so far, because most of the time, like we see so many apps coming and going because they're not like offering anything that is different, or they don't put the budget to be known enough. But you guys don't need any huge budget to be known because you're already in the space of biohacking, and then you do something on purpose. I see here.
Yeah, we've been.
So you can, all these things can be tracked and seen. And wow.
Yeah, so this is the start. This is what just a typical user would see. And so they would come in, they would enter an access code to join an experiment. This is the Beams challenge that we're doing with Dr. Killen's group here. Okay. And they come in. I'm just going to use my account just so everyone can see what that looks like really quickly.
We're gonna check how in shape you are.
Yeah, exactly. And what's working for me and what's not. So basically all the experiments that I'm trying are right at the top, and I can click into them, learn more about them, learn about the protocols, click that I did them, and then it will correlate that with my wearable data. And I'll show you how that happens here in just a second. Also, I can look at what health factors I think influenced my sleep and my HRV positively or negatively. So these are all the things I
Oh,
try on a normal daily basis. So like today, right, I've had these things going on. No alcohol, no late sleep, no caffeine. I'm having a pretty good day here. We
you're
haven't
on my
gone to Vegas
podcast.
for
It's even a
4M
better
yet.
day.
But if you go to the insights here, this is where you'll actually see have the ability to connect your wearable data, and you'll be able to see the insights around how things are working in your life, right?
I
So
love it. You know why?
this
This
I've been
is,
doing this for months.
yeah, and this is
Yeah,
very cool because most of the trackers and biofeedback tools that we have on the market today, they're giving you value and data, but what the heck you do with it? It's like
right.
no one knows. Like, yeah, okay, you didn't sleep well, and thank you for telling me. I know I'm tired, but now you see the reason behind that. This is very cool.
Yeah, we've been trying to wrangle that exact problem in, John. I'm glad you actually know that too. So
Yeah.
for us, like these are the things I do, but I actually have data around how they show up in my life. So as you can see here, I've taken Hopbox, which is a longevity supplement,
Yeah.
over 180 times, right? And so I've
Wow.
tagged that I've used it 157. I haven't used it 23 days during that time. But if you look at that, HRV's up almost 20% with that, deep sleep's up
Wow.
almost 10%. And those are, very robust numbers for that long of doing something. As you go down, I have other things that don't show up quite as well. But I get to see and make decisions around how those things show up in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is all my data on everything I
Oh,
do,
even
right?
the phone? Like I saw phone something?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
Phoneless.
love
Isn't
it.
that crazy? So this is a study that Katie Moore.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Katie Moore's putting this together with her.
that's very cool.
Yeah, and
So,
so she's going to
yeah,
lead a bunch of people through this, but I just wanted to get a jump start
perfect.
on it.
No.
And then rucking, obviously, I don't know if you ruck, but I love that as an exercise, and for me, it's really good for my deep sleep. So that's kind of cool to
Yeah.
see. And then
Wow.
under here, you can just see all the wearable devices I have connected here.
Okay.
You can choose what the default is, and that is what the normal user will see. On the other end of things, like a company or somebody running an experiment within it, they also get this little tab where they'll be able to look at a study and actually see the aggregate data of everyone in their study anonymized and be able to look at individual usage of their products, et cetera. So we've really put a lot of work into this part. And
Wow.
people, this is what I was just sharing with you, Jean, before the call here. People
Mhm.
can actually go in on our website right now, reputable.health. There's a little circle in the corner. It's kind of hidden, but it's got our logo on it. And you can create your pilot study with our AI. It'll help you create your entire study, and then it'll publish it to the app at this point.
That's insane because,
Yeah.
like, yeah, saving time and money to going through a process of studies, double blind, and then the publication and things like that. So you have feedback live. You see if
Yes.
the product responds well, if you need to do adjustment, or like, for example, people coming to us and say, "Hey, I want to be certified," and sometimes they don't have enough backup to get through a
Mm.
certification process, and we go like, "We're sorry, but the evidence are not strong enough." So they can go to you, get more
Yeah.
evidence, come back to us and get their certification. Yeah, this is insane. I love it.
Yeah, we're happy to support in that way for sure. I know you've been talking to me about that for a while. I was excited to share with you what we're working on for that.
Yeah, it's we're on the same mission in a way. And we've been probably in this space for long enough that we understand that today this space is getting crowded and filled up with BS, not with things on purpose. That's the problem of it, and that's why we see this shift happening now. Like it was cool at the beginning because the biohacking industry was just meant to directed by biohackers, like the strong testers and hardcore, trying stuff, failing, reporting, but it became so popular that everybody was trying to put a feet through the door, call themselves biohackers or biohacking products, and we got swamped with so much shitty stuff, that you're doing a fantastic job there, and we're on the same mission. We want to clean this up. Yeah, like
No, and I appreciate
true
that.
fact, no bullshit. Yeah, true fact, results, proof.
That's it. That's it. It either works or it doesn't, and it works for some people or it doesn't, right? Like that's what's neat about a platform like this is people can say, well, it works for me, and someone might go, well, it doesn't work for me, and then over time you could start to see this community develops that you could go, well, we have that in common, that might work for me, and it can get predictive around that sort of thing as well as you start to add AI, et cetera, in that. So
some sort of
it'd be really powerful.
Yeah, like in the medicine, they're doing pretty much the same now with instead of one pill for everybody, or one type of surgery or treatment for everybody, going through case by case and making sure that precision medicine is applied to each cases. And I think that you're right on that. Supplement cannot work for everybody. We're all of us, we are unique snowflakes. Thanks God, we are.
Yeah.
And everything works differently for everyone. And so you're guiding these companies and people to make sure that the fit is there. That's a beautiful work. Tell me, Reputable started from a group. I'm part of Reputable, and I was very honored to be part of it. So it's a part of biohacker from the origin of biohacking. Please explain.
How did we get here? So early days of Reputable, we actually started as like super sleuths, right? As a DAO, so a decentralized autonomous organization. We were like, let's have a group of people just guided by a mission go and learn about a product. So we actually chose an Amazon's best vitamin D product. I won't share what that was, but they were Amazon's choice. And then we had the community go out and try to dig up all the dirt they possibly could on that product and then come back with reports to share with everybody. And it was mind-blowing what they were able to find that isn't just out there available on the internet, right? Like people were going to like FDA adverse events, and people were finding problems with DOJ, and like all these issues around this thing that's being touted as like Amazon's best supplement. So we said, well, that's a big problem. You know what I mean? That's hurting people in essence. How can we clean up that industry? And so we're like, well, maybe we could help people create better experiments and et cetera. And it's really morphed into a place where we created what's called the Quantified Collective. And it's a group of individuals like yourself who all said, yeah, we stand behind this mission. We really want to see this get cleaned up, and we want to stand for something more. And so they all joined us on this mission to kind of help foster this app out.
How did you select your member? Because there's quite a few members there, and high caliber in the biohacking industry, I would say. Like you among the best among the best are there.
Yeah, we had a nucleus of about 5 to 10 that we knew had the right mission in mind. And then we said, now you get to invite people. And then it was word of mouth of like these people, and then we do our own research on them. But most people are like, yeah, I wouldn't invite that person, or I wouldn't ask this person to be a part of it based on this. And it just kind of grew from there. And then we capped it right around, I think it was 90 people that we capped it at.
90. I in my mind was still at 50, like at the beginning.
No. It's around 90 that have joined.
Wow.
And now we're at a point where it's like, let's push the app out into the world and help them run their own experiments and do community science, all this stuff. So we wanted to give them a tool like the app to actually use to get out.
It is the tool. Like I would say, like the board will define the mission, but the tool to make it is your application. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I think our big mission, Jean, like what we're really after, because people are like, well, what are they doing it for? Or like, what's the end game, right? Like we want to clean everything up, and I think we can. And I think that companies want to learn about their products. They want to know where it works, what audience to maybe turn it into. Maybe it could be good testimonials or stories around how people are really reacting to their products. But overall, like imagine a world where you can trust the information coming to you. It isn't testimonials. It isn't, influencer led, et cetera.
It's not regulation.
It's not like, well, trust me, this thing works. It's like, Well, no, I saw it in a decentralized group of people. This person's in Asia, that person's in Europe. They're all using it and they're all getting results from it.
Yeah.
That's powerful, right? And it doesn't have to be like it's data, but it's de-anonymous, it's anonymous. People don't know who people are, but you can trust that that data coming in is at least more real than the influence.
I'm just dreaming about seeing the CDC and the FDA working on the same pattern.
Wouldn't that be nice, eh?
Oh my God, yeah. Like no more big money behind, yeah, that works, and no money behind, oh, that doesn't work because it's not been like validated by our laboratories, or they don't have any publication with it, or we paid for.
Right.
I love it. Yeah, the revolution has started, and I think that the world of today is more inclined to accept those type of results and trust them, rather than, like, our 1.6 seconds span attention post by Instagram is getting all over the place, and people are getting so much information from everywhere, and influencers are not the best for that. They're like reading something, taking a chapter of it, putting that out in the space of social media, but no explanation on why and how they came up to that conclusion. So people grab the information and I shouldn't eat pasta.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is sad. This is sad that our society turned to be there, to get to that point. So do you think that the number of members will grow, or is more, I think, well, maybe it's the number of users that it's more important now.
Yeah, I think it is. I think like we're starting with companies because they already normally have groups that they want to test with. They have customers that are either beta testers or whatever. And then you're kind of jump starting the community that way that's coming into the app. And then once they graduate a study, et cetera, then they can start going in and go, why? Like me, right? Like I want to tag the things that I'm also trying. Like, you know, I'm using this device and that device, and I want to know how that's showing up in my life. And so we see it building that way. We still see the Quantified Collective growing in the future, but I think it's also, they're the stewards of this mission if it's done correctly, right? Yeah. Like they're standing for that. They're bringing audience in. They're shepherding this idea of sort of validation, proof.
Yeah, because they've been, all of them are testers by themselves. Like
right.
When you were saying that, I was thinking about the neurovisor that I'm using on a daily basis, and it would be like a fantastic deal for them to go through the platform and ask people to put feedback on how it works. Like they came up with that microdosing without chemicals, and it's kind of a breakthrough in the industry, but they need validation. They don't have it yet. Yeah.
And we hope to be that for people. We're starting with wearables. Labs are shortly after, and then you can imagine all the testing, gut microbiome, genomics, et cetera, all coming in and just giving it a plethora of information. The other thing is on the company side, you know, as companies are wanting to your point, validate, et cetera, we've actually created our AI within the website.
You mentioned that, so I want to see that.
Okay, let me show you that real quick.
I
think this will be really cool for you. I love getting nerdy with you. All right. All right, let me go to this here. All right. So this is reputable.health. So this is our website. So any company, any person can go here. They can download the app. But this is what a company would see on their back end as a dashboard, kind of like I was showing you on the app section. And they can filter data. They could filter out like any nights where people had alcohol, or, you know, they don't want data where people maybe had late screen time or whatever. This is where they would do all that and get really sort of more pure data on their product. But here, no one's an expert normally when you start a wellness company on creating studies, right? Or pilot studies. So groups that I've been guiding through this have been asking me a ton of questions around like, well, how many participants should I have? Or what, how long should I go with this study? So we ended up creating an AI here, this little circle that you can see that is that for you. So if I was to start a new conversation with the AI here, It's Reppy, our dedicated pilot study assistant, and it'll help you do it. So what kind of pilot study do you want to do? So Jean, I'm going to put you on the spot. What sort of study you want to create here?
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe the effect of light and sound on the brain. And I don't know how many people you need for that.
Yeah, so let's put it in and see what it says.
Wow.
So it's going to go to work creating this thing for you. And this is where it's going to get really cool. So you'll actually get an email from it that'll have your entire study outlined, and it'll have shareable codes because this is going to publish right to the app.
Okay.
And so you'll be able to share. And we're doing a sandbox version for up to like 5 users for companies. So no problem to just dive in and do it. But you'll be able to share those codes, get people in, and you'll be able to see the data in real time as people are. Yeah. All right. Study's done. It's generated. Let's take a look at it. And you can edit this, by the way, as well.
Okay.
So how does discover how light and sound affects brain waves and cognitive function sound to you?
That's beautiful.
Let's do 30 days.
Yeah.
How about 30 participants?
Sounds good.
Cool. Here's the instructions. And then it actually will put in some safety stuff as well. And then you can just provide your email address. So I am going to put in your email. What's the email you don't mind sharing with everybody here? Coming your way?
Probably yes.
That's it. So now if you look at your email, you should have the entire study codes to sign in to actually see what I saw in the app, which is the back end, right, the dashboard, and then codes to share with participants.
I got it. Experiment setup complete. Mind wave. I love Mind Wave Music. That's the title of it.
I love it. That's so good.
Cool.
So yeah,
this is cool. Yeah,
just
brainwave boost.
That'll publish in the app, and you can imagine do it.
Oh, yeah, and detailed like safety precaution.
Yep.
I see the codes and everything. This is sick. Okay, now I have a question for you because I'm always like trying to pick up the stuff that no one wants to see. To show. When you were sharing the information from on the manufacturer side or the vendor side or the producer and not the user, I saw names. How do you protect data there for the user?
When you so those are not real names. It's all de-identified.
Okay.
So you'll see like might say Mary Jones or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
That's very cool. Yeah, that is cool because looking at it, I was just like, oh, but I see the name of the people. I could reach out to them or try to sell them something. So, but that's not the case. We did the job up to the end. Of course, I had no doubt on that.
Good question.
That's very cool. So what's the way that people get access to this application? Is it like on Apple Store?
Yep, exactly. So our app is in Apple Store and Google Store. And so just users can go in and start playing around with it if they want.
Is it free?
A lot of different groups have invite codes. So like I told you, there's different studies kicking off right now. So they may get invited to those. If they want one, they can just ping me. If they want to join an experiment, we can help them do that. If you're a company and you're wanting to use this to run your own study where the data isn't out there in the world and you're the one who gets to see it and sort of make sense of it and validate and do what you need to do with your product, that's why I've created that our team has, I'm not going to take credit for that at all. Our team, let me just say that clearly. Our team has created that AI for you guys to go in, create your study. It'll publish, and then you'll get an email and be able to start using the app right away. And if it's a good fit for you, we can help you come up with a plan that'll work for you to scale that up.
And if I'm a consumer and I just want to improve my life, like many lifespanner out there, so I subscribe. It's on subscription.
Right now, there is no fee for users. So right now would be the time to
it is the time, guys. Listen to this.
There is no fee for you.
Get there, download it, use it. That's very cool. I love it. Now you have so many things that you're running. Every time I talk to you, actually, there's something new, something's coming up or something's cooking. But you mentioned you've been taking Hopbox for 180 days. Tell me more about Hopbox. I love it, actually.
Oh, man.
That is a cool concept.
I'm honored to be a mini part of Hopbox. It's the brainchild of Dr. Amy Killen. who's a dear friend of mine. I don't know if she spoke much about it on your podcast or not.
No,
Uh,
he was not ready yet to the point
yeah. Okay.
yeah, we spoke more
Uh,
about what she was doing and how she became a biohacker, but the Hopbox at that time was
but
not out
the
there.
Hotbox is actually what my computer is sitting on right now. So
It's a hot
it's a
box.
monthly subscription box for longevity. And so it's a longevity blend. And this is all the things that are in it. So you have a damage control pill, an hourglass tipping pill, daily D,
Five
equalizer,
pills.
and the bee's knees. And I'm biased, so don't take what I'm saying about
But I
it.
tried it for 30
But
days. Yeah,
same, and my data
yeah,
shows you what it's doing for me, so I don't need
yeah,
to say
yeah.
much about it. I just think it's one of the best formulas out there. I
Well,
really love it.
yeah, to be honest, what I did like about it is the fact that you only have five pills, and those pills, they don't contain one component, but several one. It's
Several.
just not one pill, one supplement. It's a mix of them, and it's in a pouch, and you take it daily, twice actually.
Yes.
And most people are just like overwhelmed by what do I take? When do I take
Yes.
it? I don't know. And they end up by taking like 100 pills. And even one of my great friends, Sergey Young,
Yeah.
on the longevity phone, he was telling me that he's taking about 40 to 50 pills a day.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's still a
That is a
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is a lot. Yeah, I think Amy and group has done an amazing job at making it easy, making it fun. They're really trying to sort of drive people into action on longevity. That isn't the scary thing you need to worry about aging. It's like, let's hop into action now and enjoy our lives, and let's have,
yeah.
the right things to do that with. And I love to, like, my favorite thing about Hop is they've actually created like these fun little characters to like describe aging. I've always heard of it as like, the horsemen of the apocalypse and like all these sort of things, like bad, 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 but they've made them the downfalls of aging, and they're actually fun and quirky characters
Yeah.
that you could share with your kids and stuff like that too.
And
So
I
it's
think there is a surprise on that coming up, and probably the podcast will not go live before the surprise is released, so we can talk about it. That
yeah,
movie
okay.
in the train.
Yeah. Are you talking about the book? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's actually a children's book. Can I, you know what? Don't share
Go.
this before
No,
because I
of
haven't
course
even shared
not.
this with Amy.
Yeah. No,
But
no.
I'll just show you. This was a gift
Yeah.
for me. So,
Because Amy's birthday is Thursday, I think.
correct.
Yeah, so this podcast will probably go out next week. So after, she will have this surprise.
I was not expecting to share this, but you know what? Super fun.
I love it.
All right, let me show you this. So we created a book out of the characters called Selly's Day with the Downfalls. And this is something that you can read to your kids, and it's actually a lot of fun. So like you got protein misfit here. You got telomere shortening with Shorty T. You got
Oh
life
no.
stick.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
is cool.
unstable male. So all these different characters that represent aging, and she just talks about how fun it was to meet all these characters and what she learned from them, etc. And then she comes back and shares it with the class.
Super
Anyway,
cool.
turned out
very
pretty good.
creative. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Yeah. You know what? I think that longevity shouldn't be called like a movement or a revolution. It's our evolution. We're getting there. Like more and more every year, we improve. We're moving forward, and it shouldn't be perceived like super drastic change, but just like implementing this 1% at a time to get us better, fitter, and every day. And my mind is just on that book, and at the same time, one question came back: how did you choose the supplement that you have in your Hopbox? Before I
Oh,
forget to
yeah.
ask.
So
Yeah.
Amy worked tirelessly to do her own research, I know, but she worked with Sean Wells. Are you familiar with Sean
Of
Wells?
course, he was on
Yeah.
my early podcast like 4 years ago. He was among the first to come and join me live on
Yeah.
Instagram. This podcast used to be live, no recording at all. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there
Yeah.
you go. dear friend of ours, right?
Yeah.
And was the formulator of Hopbox and
Oh,
was able to
okay.
bring in things like dihydroberberine and some of the other pieces that I know he's worked meticulously on and has
Yeah.
patents on some of
Well,
these things.
he's probably the
Yeah.
most knowledgeable person for
Yeah.
supplements anyway.
Yeah. So
So
go to the best, right? If you're going to
yeah,
release
I
that.
agree. I agree.
But
And he's
yeah,
been
that's where
around
that.
for long. Yeah.
And then it's always changing too, Jean. So it's
Yeah.
like as research comes out, like one of the things about hop that I really admire is that they're not stuck in the formulation. It's like as more research comes out, the box will change literally by
Whoa.
a
Okay,
quarter.
but if I buy a subscription now and I'm getting my pills for the next 30 days and I paid for a year, for example, the
Mhm.
subscription changes, but it becomes more expensive for you to produce. Are you charging me an extra? No, it's
No,
part of it. So
no,
you
they're
better, you
those,
better,
yeah, those folks
you
are
better.
grandfathered in. So I would take advantage of that. Yeah, as it gets more expensive, no kidding. That's smart.
Yeah.
I know my subscription, my personal one is grandfathered in too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. How do you see
Yeah.
the future of this biohacking movement?
Ooh, good question. I think the future is less about hacking
Hmm.
and more about oh man, what I wish I had a nice buzzy word, but it's less hacky, it's more
Align,
optimizing.
yeah, optimizing or
Yeah, like
aligning the biology. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I loved biohacking. Like I still do.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
love the idea that I bought all the things, I've tried all the stuff. I think, Dave Asprey did a wonderful job of like bringing the
Absolutely.
world into that and, a lot of respect there. And but I do feel like it's like people are constantly optimizing for them and like trying to optimize their situation, their environment,
Mm.
those sort of things, as opposed to hacking.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. Well, Dave comes from a tech industry, so maybe
yeah,
the term hacking for him was not perceived the same way. I think that hackers at the beginning they were just like trying to crack codes to make the program better. And it turns
right.
out that they were cracking codes on other computers. It turns out that the hacking perception was different, but I don't think it was on a bad purpose that he chose that wording. But you're right. Nowadays, people are still scared about biohacking. And unfortunately, how I see that is like most people that are interested in biohacking, of course, young people, it's natural for them. It's part of their education now. But
Mhm.
people that are 40 above and 50 and 60, and they see that the lifespan today in the United States is 82 or 85, and they're coming close to that, and they're just like, oh, I need to do some things. But if you say,
Yeah.
oh, but try biohacking, what? No way I'm going to do anything against the law or anything
Right.
that is. And so that's the perception they have.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it is not there. We were talking today about some things. I think the biohackers are really on the top of the pyramid where they've been trying and failing and succeeding. But for, like a friend said last time, how many died? That's a good
Mm,
question. I don't know how many died, but how many people in the biohacking industry tried think and ended up by having stomach head or headache or things like that. And
right.
then they said, oh, it doesn't work. And they changed and they optimized their life in a way that it works today. Now, thanks God, today we have your application that does that job for them. Straight
Yeah.
there, straight
Right.
there. Yeah.
I was
But
going to say that's
yeah,
what I see
yeah,
the future as.
yeah.
Now that I've had a moment to digest it, it's like the future is you have sick care and you have health, wellness, betterment over here. And more people are going to get empowered to optimize their lives over here as tools are available at home. Our app is part of that, but it's labs, it's stuff you can get at your house that you could diagnose quickly. Smart
Yeah,
toilets are coming.
yeah.
Like it's going to get really, really cool to kind of know where you're at on a health journey more than your doctor, as opposed to checking in with them every year. So I think biohacking is leading that movement of people being self-sufficient in healthcare. So
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going.
Yeah, the preventative side instead of the curative side of the medicine, that as today you are going to see your doctor because you are sick.
Right.
Now you are going to see your doctor just to make sure that every results that you already compiled by tracers, your app or whatever, are aligned really with what your expectations were, and your doctor will say, oh, you may have missed this one, or yeah, everything seems to be good, you're good to go, see you next year. So they're going to spend more time probably, like they were doing that at the beginning of the century, talking to people and understanding. Yeah.
Really refreshing.
This is why our society is going sometime nowhere. It's because we don't talk, we don't communicate anymore. And fortunately for doctors, it's because they are forced to do that. Yeah. It's like you have 5 minutes and do your stuff. Yeah. So I agree. We're going in that direction. We're improving everything. And I'm a strong believer of your app is driven by artificial intelligence anyway, but I'm a strong believer in artificial intelligence. And thanks God tomorrow, with all this data that we're gathering every day, because soon we're going to have tracer on our skin or under our skin, or pills that are like taking sample in our bloodstream and sending data on computer or tablets or whatever. But artificial intelligence will help us to have access to all this information that are out there. Every day, I think that like 2 million publications are issued. You cannot even think about reading them. Like it's impossible. But artificial intelligence can make it happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you can be up to date every day on what's going on, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So the world is going to be better for sure in the future, better and better. Do you think that we're not going to die, like longevity or eternality?
I think we first have to believe that we can live longer. That's the first thing. One of my claims to fame with the hop formulation is I named one of the pills, and I named it the hourglass tipper, because I felt like it was, it isn't necessarily like you're turning it over, but you're just tipping it. It's coming out ever so slowly now. And I feel like that's what we can accomplish, in the near term, is living longer, healthier, because we're learning what works, what doesn't work, and what behaviors have caused, chronic disease, etc. And so I am very bullish on that. But I don't never bet against technology. Like,
no.
Are we uploading our brains to the cloud? And, our consciousness
probably
is moving into,
probably yes, or even making new organs.
Exactly.
Printing liver or whatever. There is no limit in the future. Probably it's gonna happen. I don't think that we're not gonna die one day. I'm not radical like that, but I'm with you on that. I think we can live longer, better, and healthier for sure. Taking some small step now. By taking some small step, okay, I'm gonna be critic because I love to be. You have an application. Are you afraid to make people completely addicted to the application? Like, okay, I'll put it in perspective.
Yeah.
If you look at the biohackers back in the days when biohacking started, I would say that today 70% of these guys are on depression because of the heavy load biohacking has put into their space and their lives. Like, I need to wake up in the morning, take a cold shower, go outside, walk barefoot, come back and take a sauna, have my supplement, my milkshake, go work out, put my ass in the sun for my red light therapy, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't have time to live. Yeah. So now we're putting one more stuff. How does that work? How do you manage the fact that they may become looking at their application often? Like, you have a Fitbit. The first thing you have for the first month is looking at a Fitbit all the time.
Yep.
After a month, you look once in a while, and after 2 months, throw it out.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, it's a great question, right? Like, I think what I hope for the app is that it isn't addictive. I don't want people coming in all the time. Like I want it to be a place that you're like, you know what? I'm trying something out new. I will open the app for a week or two to test that thing, to do this experiment, to see if I should add that.
Beautiful.
But I don't necessarily want people there all day long analyzing data, et cetera. I hope what we're doing is taking some of the analytics burden away from people, where they've had to go in and create spreadsheets and get granular around how things are. It's like, no, it's, you tagged it, it's done. Or, you know, that lab's in, don't worry about it. It's stored here. You're fine.
Yeah.
That's what I hope happens.
I think that if they are educated that way, and like it's all about the process, and the you know, everybody's trying to get this rush of endorphins and serotonin and neurotransmitter, the reward process. But if it's for data and analytics, you don't see the results right away, because it's a community sharing results. So you probably, you're not going to be addicted to it, because you have to compile your information and the result will come after. So that's maybe a good thing. I don't say that as a trouble for your application. Yeah.
Our group has really thought long and hard about adding, because people have wanted us to add a social layer into it, like since day one. We just keep pushing that. Like there's enough social apps. We don't need another one of us. You know, like people can communicate outside of it just fine. You know?
No, I don't think it's a good I don't think it's a good idea. Honestly, personally, I wouldn't do that. I would remain completely open and impartial the way that it is, because if you make a social platform where people start communicating, you influence the results.
Exactly.
Yeah. So brilliant. There's a lot of brain behind this company there.
I have an unbelievable team.
I know.
Yeah, they work tirelessly to make this thing happen. I know that every time I talk to you and I say, yeah, that's a great idea, they turn it around in a week. You know, it's just like, that's not me.
Well, you're part of it, so you're the co-founder. So
yeah. No, it's very, very smart people behind it making it happen. So
and it's noble. I think that everything you do is just not a beautiful product, a beautiful app, a beautiful company. The whole mission behind what you're doing is noble. And I don't know, if we had more people living on purpose today, our world will be way better and will work way more efficiently for the happiness of everyone, not just few of them. So I like you guys because of that.
Yeah, no, and I know we've aligned on that since the beginning. I mean, you're very purpose-driven in what you're doing. And I've been trying to beg you on the sidelines, like, let us help validate products that go into Lifespanning store and that sort of thing. I know you have
we're going to be there.
Big ambitions for that stuff. So
So
excited to see what you guys conquer.
Yeah, I think that we're doing the same thing. We're educating people for a better world and making them better and live longer. So that's our goal, our common goal. There is no reason we shouldn't work together in the future, for sure.
Absolutely.
It was an honor for me to have you here.
So fun.
So just to finish this podcast, remind people where they can find everything about what we said today. The best is your website.
Yep. So reputable.health. If you're a company wanting to validate your products and you want to set up a study, you can do it right there and kick off a sandbox version of that. If you want to just get the app for your personal use, you can go to nof1plus.com. That's nof1plus.com, spelled out PLUS. Or you can just go to Apple Store, Google Store, and type in the same thing and download the app and do it that way.
Why did you call it N-of-1 plus?
Ooh, good question. You ready for this? So you're familiar with N-of-1 studies about yourself, right? Like I'm an N-of-1, you're an N-of-1. But we're like, maybe the app could be your N-of-1 plus my N-of-1 plus other people's N-of-1 adds to now collective intelligence that we can all learn from.
That's very cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, I like it.
That's where the plus comes from in the N-of-1.
Yeah, very cool. Once again, brilliant. Thank you, Kai. It was a great pleasure having you.
So good to see you, my friend. We'll talk soon.